Welcome to the Roadmap, Benzinga's NFT show. We've had great interviews past episodes. You heard from teams behind Pixel Vault, Art Blocks, Robotos, the Doge Pound, Crypto Dads, and many, many more. We got more interviews coming soon. We got giveaways coming soon and NFT merch, so you don't want to miss out. Stay tuned for the Roadmap Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On today's episode, we're going to talk about all the latest news in the world of NFTs, dive into some recent mints, some projects, and also talk about that rumor of Elon Musk possibly joining Bored Ape Yacht Club. Is it true? Is it going to happen? Or is it just one of those internet rumors? We'll dive in. Stay tuned, everyone. This is the Roadmap. All right, everyone. As you heard me say, this is the Roadmap, Benzinga's NFT show, here with you on this Tuesday. Want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by FTX US, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world in terms of trading volume and daily users. The FTX app is used by over 6 million people to buy crypto and NFTs. They feature no transaction or withdrawal fees. And the FTX US trading platform for NFTs offers both Ethereum and Solana blockchain-based NFTs with no gas fees. To find out more and to download that app, click on the link in the description below. And you can also find it in the chat if you are watching us live on YouTube right now. Without further ado, I think it's time to bring on my co-host, Benzinga's own Brian Moir. Brian, what's going on, buddy?
Howdy. Just living the dream.
Yeah, you know, another week here. There's so much going on in the world of NFTs. It's so hard to keep up, and that's what we're here for. We try our best, right, to bring the news, the events, the upcoming mints, all of that, covering the NFT space. So a big shout out to everyone who is watching us live right now on YouTube, and also everyone who's listening in after we aired live and also listening to us via podcast. So we want to give a shout out and thank you to all our loyal viewers and listeners today. Brian, what do you think? Should we start diving into the big news items here?
Right off the high dive, the springboard.
All right, yeah, let's go right in, right? So it's Tuesday. So one of the things we always like to do on Tuesday's episode is take a look back, right? What were the top 10 NFTs by volume last week? This data coming to you from CryptoSlam. So last week was topped by Invisible Friends and New Mint, 57.5 million, followed by Three Landers, up 290%, Tubby Cats, Bored Ape Yacht Club, MFers, NFT Worlds, Azuki, Clone X, and Star Catchers and Howlers rounding out the top 10. So we had 4 new projects that minted join the top 10 list. Brian, before I get into some of the more details here, Invisible Friends, Tubby Cats, Star Catchers, and Howlers. How about that? 4 new projects hitting the top 10 in their first week. I don't think we've seen 4 in a while. We've seen 1 or 2, but this was quite the week for the newcomers here.
Yeah, and what about Invisible Friends just marching its way up to the top there at 57.5 million in volume.
Yeah, I mean, that's no small number, right? And we've been talking about this for a while, right? That this is a collection of 5,000. They had a huge Discord, huge Twitter. So huge demand, low supply. We do see the floor price now at 5.86. And I mean, Brian, 5.86 floor price. Again, nothing to sneeze at, but we of
Didn't
course
we
have to.
say that that's around where the floor price was going to end up at, or
Yeah,
above 4 or 5?
I think we said 4 or 5. And,
Mhm.
Brian, we do have to note that once these minted out, the floor price briefly hit around 10 to 12 ETH, right? And with most projects, pre-reveal can sometimes be the highest price point. And then we saw, of course, a lot of people sell, right? And take profits. And now, again, these are revealed and we have a floor price over 5.86. Brian, I'll be curious next week. Do you think that this one will continue to, list in the top 10? Will we continue to see the floor price over 5, or is this one gonna, slowly fade away?
It's gonna be hard to say. I mean, it's got a lot of hype, but that's so high in value that I would say that it's gonna slide down before we see it rise back up anywhere near this price. And of course, we could be wrong. You never know. It's so subjective and speculative. But that's a ridiculously high amount of money to buy one right now. That and that compared to like Bored Apes, that's nothing. But still, that's $300,000, and these are what they were at 30,000. Now they're at probably close to $15,000 a pop. That's freaking ridiculous. That's like almost a half a year of college.
Yeah, again, no small dollar amount. I have to think that we do see a dip next week, and that's no shame to Invisible Friends or that collection or fans of the project, but I just feel like we're gonna see this fade away a little bit. Some liquidity coming out until they get into their next item on the roadmap or some more news, or maybe when we see some celebrities or some big names get in. I will say that the animations on Invisible Friends are really cool to look at, right? That's something pretty unique. But Brian, one of the things with NFTs, right, has always been a PFP, a profile picture.
Mhm.
A moving image doesn't really get justice as a PFP.
That's a
And
good
also this
point.
being so big, right, and spread out in that full box there, I
Mhm.
feel like it just doesn't translate that well to a PFP.
No, it's not really the PFP style, and I like that though, because get those
Yep.
PFPs out of here. Let's
They're
move on,
gone.
everybody. NFT space, we're moving on from the PFP. Brian Moir has said it now. We're going different places, going different routes. I'm
Definitely.
over it.
And Brian, I mean, we also saw Tubby Cats, a new one. That's a collection of 20,000 Star Catchers, which we've been talking about for a while on the show, and then Howlers, which was kind of a stealth mint. Also, we're all in the top 10. I do also want to point out that below the top 10 line, we saw the Doggies rank in
Mhm.
11th place, 13.7 million. That is the Snoop Dogg avatars for the sandbox that we've been talking about.
They're up to number 6 now, as of today.
Yeah, those things are moving. And that one actually, I feel like it's going to have lasting power. We said that in the last episode that when they announced details on that music video, when there's more playability with these avatars, I really think that they're going to increase in
Mhm.
value. Axie Infinity came in 12th place, and last week it was in the top 10. So it did have a bit of a decline. But just overall, it's kind of nice to see 4 new names in the top 10. But
Yeah,
otherwise,
and
not
the
not a
doggies
ton of
being
movement.
actual reachable, like I mean, not reachable,
Yes.
obtainable,
Yep.
monetary wise. It's still what 25, maybe a little less than 2 grand a piece, but in crypto terms, it's kind of obtainable for most people who have some ETH in their wallet. So that's not too bad.
Yeah, definitely. And let's pull up. So since you said price wise, so this Tubby Cats, I didn't know a ton about this one, Brian, when it minted. And again, this is a collection of 20,000. The floor price is 0.45. So it's another one of those where the entry point doesn't necessarily break the bank, for newer people to the NFT space. Again, I just don't know much about this project, but because of being in the top 10, it's of course on my watch now. I'm going to do some more research into that roadmap. Or if anyone in the chat right now, has any comments or ideas about Tubby Cats, let me know. Maybe we can bring the team on to find out more. But Brian, any other takeaways from that top 10 list before we move on?
No, well, I like that Starcatchers is up there, and their Starcatchers floor price is still kind of reasonable. It's at like $1,100. If it's like 3.38, I think. Which I think that's going to be a pretty good project. We'll see a lot more movement there as well. I personally like this one too. I don't know if I really want to throw out 3.8 ETH on this quite yet, but I'm thinking that I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth for saying that, because I can see this one moving quite a bit personally.
Yeah, great call out, Brian. Starcatchers has been one that's really caught my eye. Since I first saw it on Twitter and social media, right? And then we've been talking about it. We've been saying, when's the mint date? What's the mint price? And yeah, it has fallen a little bit down now, 0.38. I just really love the artwork on this, the color. And also, if you go to their website, there's no current roadmap. So it says, we intend to release details of several objectives, those being the build out of a scalable governance system, merch releases, and real life events that are exclusive to Starcatcher holders. So again, they didn't really do a roadmap, but they also set a couple items that they're going to work on. Brian, I'm almost a fan of this. The
like
not having a big roadmap, not over promising, because so many times we've seen projects overpromise, then they have to delay or they can't get to everything. The project really loses momentum. By kind of announcing stuff as they go along, you do risk people not being interested right away, but you also may potentially gain people as you announce new items. So to me, I kind of like this approach here. And I mean, I think you're right, Brian. Starcatchers is one I'm definitely going to be watching here and see what we have in the future.
Yeah, and like you said, I like the not over promising, under delivering. I like the fact that it's not a bunch of fluff, even though they are a PFP project and we just said get that out of here. I will say I like this project a lot. And one thing that makes it very attractive to me is exactly what you said. There's not a lot of fluff. It's it is what it is. They're gonna prove themselves over time, and they're gonna release milestones and rocks as they go, instead of saying like, hey, we're gonna do all this in hopes that we hit $100 million market cap.
Yep.
But we can't do it until then, so we're delay, or a bunch of bullshit that will never happen. So I like what they're doing here, and I can get behind a project that's doing something like that for sure.
Definitely. All right, well, let's dive in to one of the fun subjects here, Brian. I remember doing this a couple months back of kind of speculating who could potentially join Bored Ape Yacht Club next. It was also one of the questions I asked some big names in the NFT space for an article I did at the start of the year, which celebrity may get into NFTs next. There was various guesses, LeBron James was one, and I forgot the others now. But Brian, we do have these rumors out there, and I want to emphasize rumors that Elon Musk could join Bored Ape Yacht Club. So how these rumors started was a lot of it had to do with this picture right here. So that is Elon Musk near an elevator, and the gentleman on the left and the right are the co-founders of MoonPay. So for anyone listening or watching right now, if you don't know MoonPay is a crypto company, a crypto platform for trading. It also helps onboard celebrities into the NFT space. So they have been connected to Justin Bieber. They've been connected to Post Malone, who even featured them in a music video. They've also been connected to Jimmy Fallon, right? He showed off his Bored Ape, live on his late night talk show, and he even shouted out MoonPay. And then we also saw Paris Hilton go on the Jimmy Fallon show. She got a Bored Ape, and she also mentioned MoonPay. So, Brian, I think we're pretty familiar with MoonPay.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, outside of the rumors that I'm going to dive into and kind of the data, if you saw this picture, like what jumps out or what do you think in your mind? I mean, can we call this a meeting with the executives of MoonPay? Is this just a run-in? Is this just a coincidence? Or are they not even talking about NFTs at all?
Oh, I doubt they're even talking about NFTs. It looks like they just ran into each other at an elevator, and who knows? Does his shirt say crypto though?
I forgot what his shirt says, but so it actually is the shirt he wore to the Kanye West or Ye concert.
The genius.
So, yeah, so you know, it really just seems like he was at the right place at the right time for MoonPay executives to kind of talk to him, right? But of course, this is a fun rumor to talk about. And let's bring up the first image here. So Bored Ape number 4976, which features a cowboy hat, was purchased shortly after this photo. So of course, the traits are purple background, 13%, biker vest, 3%, closed eyes, 7%, blue fur, 5%, cowboy hat, 4%, and bored mouth, 23%. Purchase price, 95 Ethereum. For anyone who doesn't follow Elon Musk, he recently moved from California to Texas. He also is working on opening a gigafactory for Tesla in the state of Texas, which is scheduled to open, I think, have their ribbon cutting in April. So, Brian, I mean, is this just a huge coincidence, though, that a cowboy-looking Bored Ape gets bought right after that photo comes out? I mean, is this MoonPay playing tricks with us, or?
I think it is a coincidence. I mean, it's a pretty big coincidence, but
it is a big
it's very that's not quite a reach to say that that's far-fetched for that to happen, but I don't know. I don't think Elon Musk, I think if he wanted to join, he would just do it.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people have said. You got the world's richest person. Why would he be going with MoonPay? He doesn't need a sponsorship. He doesn't need an endorsement deal, right? He could just buy it. We got Ash in the chat saying that's a run-in. I mean, that's my thoughts too, but how much fun is it to just, you know, speculate? And Brian, let's now move on to the second Bored Ape to make this rumor even fly further. MoonPay also purchased Bored Ape number 1837 for 569 Ethereum. That's $1.5 million. This is a rare gold fur ape. It's one of only 46 with that trait, and it ranks in the 250 rarest Bored Apes. Brian, we had Franklin on, the owner of 36 Bored Apes. He owns a gold fur Bored Ape that he's not willing to sell yet. What about this? Why would MoonPay buy one of the most expensive Bored Apes? Are they just going to sit on this in their wallet, or is this going to go to a big name? I mean, we also saw the previous owner of that Bored Ape. He posted on Twitter, I thought I had it at 690.420 ETH. Oh, well, as long as it goes to at Elon Musk, I'll be happy. He said in that tweet while also tagging MoonPay. So again,
how much did you said 590?
569.
69.
1.5 mil. And again, the previous owner of that Bored Ape kind of diving more into the rumor mill here, right? There it is right there. Deepak saying, I thought I had it at 690.420 ETH, which if you know Elon Musk, you know how much he enjoys those numbers and memes, right? So,
yeah. One thing that this person just said is he might be looking to invest in the MoonPay and not just Bored Ape itself.
Oh, there we go.
I personally think that it is just a coincidence they ran into each other. I think that Elon Musk has a little bit more stuff going on to invest in something like MoonPay. He did also send over a bunch of Starlinks to and set that whole grid up for Ukraine. So who knows really what's going on, you know? I think maybe he might invest in MoonPay itself over getting a Bored Ape. I think that's more feasible.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, if it wasn't Elon Musk and he hadn't already spoken out about NFTs, I feel like I'd buy into this a little bit more, Brian. But Musk has publicly criticized NFTs on several occasions. He has compared NFTs to people having hallucinations, right? Using the meme of these NFTs, are they in the room right now? He told Billy Marcus, the co-founder of Dogecoin, NFTs are JPEGing the dollar. He also criticized Twitter when they changed their ability to do profile pictures right there on screen. He said, this is annoying. He said that Twitter engineers have better things to work on. Why are they doing NFT PFPs? So again, unless if he completely has changed his mind on NFTs, I really feel like this is a coincidence. And again, I mean, you look at that picture and it almost looks like they cornered him at the elevator, right?
Yeah.
I will say, though, that because we're Benzinga, right, and we try to provide that news, we try to provide, as much as we can for our loyal fans. I reached out to MoonPay to ask for a comment, right? And one of my first initial reactions was, okay, is this picture even real, right? Because you can do a lot with Photoshop. You can move people around in pictures. I mean, someone could have added him in. So the spokesperson from MoonPay said the picture is real. Don't have additional details to share at the moment, but stay tuned to the website for exciting news to come. And Brian, with that being said, MoonPay has now purchased 6 Bored Apes in the last 2 weeks, and they have 13 Bored Apes in their OpenSea wallet. So again, I highly doubt that MoonPay is just going to sit on these Bored Apes, right? I think they've got more deals cooking with celebrities, with athletes. Any guesses or any hunches here? Brian, maybe that gold fur or that cowboy hat outside of Elon Musk, who these could be set up for in the future?
Oh, there's I think there's no telling. I have no idea. It's so hard to even try to guess. I mean, it would just be a straight shot in the dark.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that gold fur one, I think, is going to cause a lot of headlines, right? Because again, $1.5 million.
I mean, that one looks like it'd be at Elon Musk, but like you said, he's definitely said things about NFTs, and he's kind of got a point that they are kind of in a bubble, and this NFT, like the whole profile picture and this kind of stuff, I think this will die down soon. Not saying Bored Apes will, not saying some of these bigger projects will, just like the whole thing in general, because people are not really realizing what non-fungible tokens can actually do for the world as a whole, that are more than just a JPEG, that are more than just a profile picture. And I think that once we embrace that, we're going to see a lot more of this stuff that's not just, Bored Apes or CryptoPunks, but we'll see these collections do game-changing things and change the whole entire world as a whole. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I want Elon Musk to kind of get into a little bit more.
Definitely. Well, Brian, speaking of game-changing NFTs and ones that have seen some big names get into, I saw a couple news items about one of our favorite projects to talk about, World of Women. Again, sometimes, it breaks my heart to talk about this project because I didn't get it when it was trading under 1 ETH. And, I knew that it was going to be a future winner. But regardless of that, I've got to share the news here. So KPMG, which is one of the largest tax and audit companies in the world, they announced on Monday that they bought a World of Women NFT as part of their corporate strategy. This coincides with them buying Bitcoin and Ethereum for their corporate treasury. That's pretty big, Brian, right? I mean, we saw Visa bought a CryptoPunk. We saw some companies buy Bored Apes. DraftKings did for a giveaway. The founder of eToro did using the Super Bowl commercial, right? But a audit company and tax company just buying one to kind of sit on their balance sheet. How about that?
That's wild, and that's great. And like you said, for what World of Women, that's kind of hard to say really fast. To WOW.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah, to old WoW. that is huge, because that means that this, pretty renowned and reputable crypto investment kind of in tax audit, all like, a company that really knows what they're talking about when it comes to crypto has invested in this as their strategic, like, I guess I forgot the word you used. Well, what did they call it?
What did they call it? That's a good question. I scrolled down too far now.
I guess their corporate strategy.
Corporate strategy.
Yeah, they're using it as that, which means they know that it's going to go up and increase in value, and it's something that's worth to hold. And for a project like this, like, wow, that's great, because like you said, it's a woman-led project. It's all about empowering women, and we're all about that. But also it's going to, change the game a little bit and make even bigger projects, or bigger companies now invest in not just Bored Ape, not just CryptoPunks, but these other smaller ones that they see a lot of potential in.
Definitely. And Brian, so we didn't just get one news item from World of Women. I saw 3 today, as promised. So they also did an auction at Christie's for a rare World of Women. And this sold today for around 755,000 USD, 260.
It hurts me talking about this too, just so you know.
Yeah, 260 Ethereum. That is a new all-time high for a non-royalty World of Women. So Christie's auction house, one of the biggest in the world, right? And Christie's and Sotheby's both have really dove into selling some high-end, rare, one-of-one NFTs from some of the biggest collections. And to see World of Women get spotlighted, and also today at the start of Women's History Month, it is a big deal. And this is one of those projects that I think is going to have historical value as really being, the top blue chip for women-led and women-featured trait projects. And then, Brian, the third news item, this is pretty cool. I remember months ago talking about how a Bored Ape was on the cover of Rolling Stone for a kind of exclusive cover that they auctioned off. Billboard magazine is doing different iconic singers as World of Women on covers. So Christina Aguilera and Madonna. There you have Madonna.
That's pretty cool.
Or no, that's Christina. I'm sorry. Christina Aguilera.
Come on, Chris. If Alyssa was on, she'd be so mad at you.
Here I am reading my notes and not looking. There's Madonna. So these are sweet, right? So they partnered with the artists from World of Women. And they are going to auction off these covers. And I am pleased to say, of course, that these NFTs will be auctioned off on FTX later in March. Some of the proceeds will go to nonprofit organizations that each cover star will choose. And the buyers of the NFTs will get flown out to Los Angeles for a Women in Music celebration next year. Brian, what do you think? I mean, these covers look just phenomenal, right? And it really ties in the artwork of World of Women. And I think you can keep going, right? I mean, you've got Madonna and Christina here, but I think you can, extend this. And World of Women is actually working on a second project, a spinoff kind of historical women leaders that they're going to turn into NFTs. And I think this kind of ties in with that. And kind of could help bring brand awareness. I mean, a lot of people in the NFT community know about World of Women, but how much more do you think hear about it from these billboard covers?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's definitely a game changer, and that's really, really cool. Again, like we've already mentioned, it does kind of hurt to talk about it, but it's also really, really cool that they're blowing up like this and making a change. And I remember covering this and watching you guys cover it. And I think we talked about it on Moon or Bust too a couple months ago when Logan Paul bought a bunch of them too. And so people have been in on this one for quite a while, and it's definitely growing. If you're one of the lucky ones to have one, just like a Bored Ape, I think that this one's definitely going to be up there with them. Like you said, will always be a blue chip, but there's a lot more room to go with this bad boy.
Yeah, and I mean,
lady.
that bad lady, not bad boy. We just had the OpenSea account up on screen, and if I remember right, the floor price was 9.2. I mean, Brian, I know we've dipped a bit over the past couple days due to everything happening in the world and the prices of crypto being so volatile. But I feel like this one's going back over 10. This is not financial advice. But this again, I just feel like it's one of those blue chips that it's going to have that lasting power. I think people that own World of Women are going to get first access to that second project. You have the media rights deal coming with Hello Sunshine, Reese Witherspoon's company. So you're going to have a TV show and movie in the future. I just really feel like, this is one of those ones where you get in and you just sit on it. You do what KPMG is doing, right? You buy it and you put it on your balance sheet as a strategic investment for the future. So maybe that's what KPMG is doing here. And if I had the ETH right now, I would certainly do that as well.
Yeah, samesies.
All right. Well, Brian, let's get into another topic. And this is one of those topics where you never wish that we had to talk about it, right? Because we do have the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. And of course, not a fun news item to talk about by any means. But through that, we did get a group of well-known NFT people that banded together and they decided, hey, let's do something to support the country. Let's do something to support the artist in Ukraine, right? So a group of 37 artists got together and they released these exclusive NFTs. Each artist had 200 in the collection and they were minted at a cost of 0.05 Ethereum. And they sold out so fast. They raised, I believe, $3 million or raised over $1 million in 30 seconds. And that's not including secondary sales. And you had some well-known artists, right? So if we can pull up, I think I sent some images. We've got, Starcatcher's team. We've got Danny Cole from Creatures. We've got Klon from Cool Cats. They added Pablo Stanley, friend of the show, from Robotos. You got Sartoshi from MFers, which of course has been in the top 10 recently. You got Super Gremlin from Cryptodes.
You got Render.
Yeah, you got Render. So many big names, right? And Brian, I tried to mint these, but I knew they were going to sell fast. And as soon as I saw, I was like, nope, and I backed out. And you're seeing a lot of people buy these, and it's one of those where like,
is that what it's under? That's what it's called right there. The relief.
Yep. So relief with the 3. And again, the floor price now is below the mint cost, right? 0.05. But I really feel like a lot of people are just buying and selling these to essentially raise money, right? Because the more they get
right now,
the more they get bought and sold, the more money that's raised. And you can kind of pick out your favorites, right? So Brian, among my favorites, you've got Klon, the Cool Cats artist. If we can get that up. Yep. So you got 2 cats, a ball of yarn shaped like a heart. I mean, anyone who's ever owned a cat, I think yarn, a favorite. That's one of my favorites. You've got the one right here, Creatures, on the left from Danny Cole. Creatures, of course, well known. So yeah, I mean, that one's at 0.30. So again, some of the bigger artists, of course, trading over the floor price. And then another one that I sent over was Pablo Stanley from Robotos with the umbrella right there. I mean, that one's pretty sweet, Brian, right? Again, these are all about just providing support and relief. There's the Starcatcher's token there as well. Yeah, there's the Pablo Stanley one. I love it. Brian, I mean, as you look at these images, is there any that are catching your eye? Or I like that one in the middle, the peace one there too, the kind of drippy peace looking sign.
Yeah, there's actually quite a bit that I really like. There's, there's not really any of them that I would say are bad.
Exactly. And they're working on a second collection too. So I think this is going to keep extending out. And again, you're buying these and Brian, there's no roadmap, right? There's no future, probably token, no film, no TV show. I think here you're strictly buying because either you like the artwork or you want to help out, or a combination of both. So to me, that's what I want to do, right? Is I want to pick out some of my favorites and I just want to buy them, and they're just going to be in the wallet and probably just sit there, right? And
Yeah,
I'll
just
know
be
in the
part
back
of
of
it.
my mind that I did something, right, to help out. And this is where, a conversation today, Brian, how NFTs and the crypto community have really stepped up to the plate, and they have helped out during this time of international crisis. So, you and I talked off air, of course. We've seen other companies. Binance recently donated to the efforts. Our friends at FTX donated money to every single Ukrainian resident who had an FTX account. We also saw the country of Ukraine set up a site for donations in Bitcoin and Ethereum, and those donations are just rolling in. Brian, what do you think of this? Again, not a great topic to talk about, right? And a pretty negative news item. But you have the NFT and the crypto communities really trying to put a positive spin on it and do the right thing here. Oh, I think you're muted.
Sorry, it's hard. My dogs were going crazy because I think there's a truck outside. But it's hard to say anything else besides what you did because it is a difficult situation. It's kind of hard to talk about, and with the political stance and not just America but the entire world, it's kind of hard to make a decision or publicly say which way you stand, even though we kind of know what's going on in this scenario. But I think that it's awesome that these artists are helping out. I think that we're going to see a lot more of this. And I think that crypto and NFTs and just this space is one. This is one of the reasons why blockchain technology will thrive in the future, is because it's borderless, it's limitless. It doesn't matter who you are, what you have, or what you can do. You can still offer in some way to help, and you can still reach out as long as you have internet access or some sort of cellular access. Even with Starlink now, thanks to Elon Musk's advancements for Ukraine, giving them the Starlink capabilities and stuff like that. Anyone can access these things, get funds, help send funds, receive funds. Like it's awesome. It's incredible, and I'm glad that we live in a time that we're seeing this be able to happen, and it's not just some futuristic nonsense.
Right. And that's really the cool part here, right? Is that, there's a group of people trying to do the right thing and help out. I also saw that a couple threads went around on Twitter of people sharing, different Ukrainian NFT artists sharing their work, right? So then, you had big NFT names scooping up and buying their artwork, right? To kind of give them money, right? Because you don't know those artists that are still in the country. Maybe they still need to get out. I mean, those are really cool. Make art, not war. That's a newer one that wasn't part of that initial collection that I think is going to get added into the second part. You also have the punk rock group, Pussy Riot,
Oh yeah.
created Ukraine DAO, right? And they are going to sell off 10,000 Ukrainian flag NFTs that are minted on Ethereum. They're also doing a one of one that is getting auctioned off. So really cool again, raising money for those affected by this international crisis. We do have a question here from Tokenizer talking about crypto exchanges. Yeah, I mean that's a big topic too, right? Of not shutting down. I think that's a hard one just because of all the different countries involved, all the different exchanges. How do you verify, where users are, all the, the geolocations, different items. So, I would expect that maybe within the coming days, we get more clarity and more announcements in that space. But for now, yeah, just want to focus on the positive here. I mean, that clown one there is still probably my favorite with the cats, Brian. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, I do like the creatures one too, because it kind of looks like, they're just all hugging and helping each other out, kind of pulling someone up that's down, right? Which is definitely what we have going on now.
I like the Marianne one as well. It's kind of neat and interesting, and I like the artwork on it. It's at the very near the top because it's only 0.02. Well, I guess my mine's lowest to highest in filtering it.
I don't know if I know the Marianne one.
So it is right next to the reinventing the wheel. Oh, right there. Yeah.
There we go. Yep.
I pointed at it like you can see me freaking point. Like I'm an
Yeah.
idiot.
No, we can see it. You got it, Brad. Yeah. I mean, again, there isn't a bad one in this collection, and it's just really cool to see again how this group pooled together. They came together to raise money, and I think they're going to do so again. And the fact that it sold out in 30 seconds too, Brian, I think showed how many people were willing to support this cause. And I think they could keep doing this on a regular basis, really until demand runs out. And again, all the money is going to Ukraine. These artists aren't keeping money for themselves. Some of the artists in the collection from the Ukraine, they will get money from secondary sales, but the initial mint, all the money went straight to the project. So just really cool to see, really cool to talk about here in this time.
Very true. I'm thinking about buying this Marianne one. I don't know if I want to. What should I do? I don't know. What do you guys think? What does the chat think? Should I buy one of these bad boys?
What does the chat think? Yeah, let us know if you're here live right now.
This is definitely not about something I want to make money off of. This is definitely something that I would like to keep and just be a part of it, because a lot of these artists, like we've said, they can actually, most of them do mean something to me because we've watched their collections go. Like I also own a oh, let me try to get the name of it so I don't mess it up.
See, these are just so cool. I mean, like I keep finding new ones as we scroll through. Like when they announced that there was 27 artists, now there's 37. I was like, oh, that's easy. I can keep up with all these, but it's been hard to remember all the different ones. Okay, now you're getting comments, Brian, as we catch up with the chat here.
You should buy it. Yeah,
you should
like
buy
I was
one
saying,
or two.
I own a Justin Roland, the Dance or Die, one of his, and it's not because I want to sell it. It's because I like his artwork and I like Rick and Morty and a bunch of his shows, but not just that. I just like who he is and a bunch of other stuff, his creative ability, and I like his artwork as a whole. And this is why I would like one of these, because I like to support the cause and I like the artwork. And I think the Marianne is one of my favorites too. I like to print that out. I think that's the one, guys. I think he sold it. Sold me on it.
I think he's sold. I think he's gonna do it. So I mean, again, this is just so cool, right? A great cause. So shout out to the team at Relief. And for all our viewers and listeners, we'll be bringing you the latest news. So I'll try to keep everyone updated on when they're doing their next mint, and who some of those artists are, because my guess is that they kind of rotate in some new artists. And you saw a lot actually reaching out after this project launched that said, hey, can we be included next time? And there's just so much support. So really cool to see. All right. Well, Brian, I think we're going to move on to the next topic, but feel free if you want to buy in the background there or buy after the show, whatever you want to do. I hate to move on from that positive conversation, right? But we're gonna keep it going with the positivity. We talked recently to Solana Legend about Solana NFTs and the growth of that area. And speaking of Solana, Shaquille O'Neal, that's SHAQ, for NBA fans out there. SHAQ recently switched up. He went from SHAQ.ETH to SHAQ.SOL now as his Twitter name. He tweeted out SHAQ.SOL, got a nice ring to it. He also was part of a Twitter Spaces on Saturday with Magic Eden, which is an NFT marketplace for Solana projects. And that Spaces was titled, What's SHAQ.ETH Doing on Solana? O'Neal also recently retweeted Astrals, which is an upcoming Solana project launching on March 9th. Gonna have to remember that one, Astrals, to ask Solana Legend about the next time he's on our show, which I'm excited to tell all our live viewers right now that if you want to learn more about Solana NFTs, you want to hear about why SHAQ is getting involved, why there's huge growth in Solana, stay tuned, because
Solana domain
tomorrow Solana legend, the man himself, joins us once again here on the roadmap. I'm super pumped for that, Brian. I did an article here about SHAQ changing his profile. And in that article, I talked about the growth of Magic Eden. Sales volume recently passed $1 billion, and the average daily transaction per user is higher than OpenSea, according to that report. Brian, Shaquille O'Neal getting into Solana NFTs, is this a big deal, a medium deal, or a small deal?
Big. I mean,
he's over 7 foot, right? So it's
yeah,
kind of
so
big, right?
Yeah, size 19 shoe. I don't know, but yeah, man, I think this is cool. I'm now I've my ADHD's already moved on to buying a SOL.
Oh man, yeah, I couldn't even let Brian buy his relief, and now he's in the background buying
like that. Well,
buying
like
Solana.
I'm big on ENS, and
Yep.
I'm even big on unstoppable domains. I don't think that the unstoppable domains are gonna be as big as the ENS in some areas, but in some areas, I think both of them have their own place. With Ethereum naming service, I think, of course, ENS is going to stay. It's going to be there. You can't beat it. With unstoppable domains, I think that they're going to take over Web3, and there's going to be a lot more utility with those, with a bunch of different spaces, but in Web3, not just Ethereum. I like Solana, and I think getting into these domain naming services with different blockchains is very, very beneficial and advantageous for a lot of people, because right now you can get into it before all these other names get taken. You could potentially make a lot of money by selling them on the secondary market, and you can have, you can be one of those people who like had a three-letter name on, or a first name on Twitter, like not just not just Jack Dorsey, or he's at Jack, but some of those people who got into Twitter really early, and then you can sell your one name Twitter handle for thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Same thing with these domain naming services.
Yeah, great point. And Brian, I just want to go out and say that before SHAQ tweeted this out, I really hope that he had already purchased SHAQ.Sol, because that people then immediately went and tried to buy it. And if he didn't own it, someone owns it now. I saw the tweet too late. Otherwise, I would have gone and looked right away. But I was like, nope, someone already has it. There's no way that they didn't buy it. But yeah, I mean, great points there. Domain name services, it's huge. We saw that even with the World Wide Web. Where companies are willing to pay extra money to get a specific website. It helps, with their brand. It helps with search engine optimization, right? It's the reason why Facebook changed their name from The Facebook to Facebook. And they had to, of course, acquire that other website. It's a great topic, and something we can dive into, in a future show with these domain names, but pretty cool to see SHAQ get in here. And again, I'm excited to hear more from Legend tomorrow. Maybe he has some insight into which project SHAQ has partnered with or is going to be included in. But it definitely helps create kind of a bullish sense when you're seeing more celebrities and athletes get more involved with Solana. I mean, we saw that with Ethereum NFTs, right? Where they all started saying, hey, what are these NFTs all about? How can I get involved? And Brian, speaking of historical NFTs, right, and big celebrities and athletes getting involved, CryptoPunks, one of the OGs in the space. We talked about it last week, right? We even took some wagers, right, and some guesses, because there was an auction of 104 CryptoPunks, around 1% of the total supply, and we came up with estimates of what it would sell for. Well, spoiler alert, we were all wrong.
Right.
We all got rugged, because the owner of those CryptoPunks decided at the last minute to pull the auction.
Get out of town. I did not see that. What?
Pulled it, Brian. Right before it was supposed to go live. So the floor price of Punks is 68.5 ETH. around 201,000. If I remember right, Brian, that's around what it was last week. So pulling the auction hasn't really hurt the price of CryptoPunks. But I wonder if this was pulled because, it just didn't see it getting that high of a bid. What do you think? Was this the right call by that owner to pull this and maybe not risk having it go for too low of a price? Or, was this a publicity move? What do you make of this huge item being pulled from this auction at the last second?
That what you first said, the fact that it might go for a little bit less than what he was hoping for, I think that's the most probable. I hope that he's just not one of those guys that says, like, I'm going to do it and then I don't want to do it anymore kind of thing. So we'll have to see. Maybe he'll make a statement and say why. And then, we'll see in like a month or so, or hopefully sooner than that he does it again. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what he has to lose because there's no way he couldn't make a profit off that amount. Many of them,
Yeah, and I mean, maybe he decides in the future, hey, I don't want to sell all 104 and I just sell, like 25 or 50.
He pieces them out. He's going to make a ton more money anyway, but the guy, I don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah, no one knows the real intentions here. I'm also a little surprised, Brian. Like, Sotheby's is a big auction house. I'm surprised that they didn't have like an agreement to where like they already had these in hand, right? That's part of the blockchain, part of these wallets is that the owner still had them in his wallet, right? And he was selling them and then they were going to get transferred over. How does Sotheby's not like take ownership or like mediate this, put them in, a
think
third
that they
party?
have some sort of contract.
Yeah, because doesn't this make Sotheby's look bad then? Because they were doing this as a live auction.
And of course, they make money. But they would make some money, some sort of commission off of it. So I wonder what because there has to be if he didn't transfer ownership and it's all in his wallet, I guess anyone could say like, I'm going to go ahead and tweet out Sotheby's and just say, hey guys, I'll auction off the name rights to Benzinga. You guys can have it. I don't care. Take it.
Right.
I mean, cancel at the last minute.
Just pull that rug out, right? As soon as they step on it. All right. Well, finish up the show here. We got minutes left. We do have a couple big mints and items that happened recently. So Wonderpals, we have been talking about this for weeks. They did their mint. Their reveal is coming in, I believe, 24 to 48 hours now. Brian, I was fortunate enough to make the raffle and get one of these. We told viewers about the raffle, right? Enter that raffle link, because they were going to pick the winners. I was able to get one. And then I had to make the tough decision, Brian. Do I hold or do I sell, right?
What did you do?
These were going for around 1.5 ETH right after it sold out.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're at 0.83. I decided to hold. And of course, looking back now, it's easy to say, hey, I should have sold it. I could have bought almost 2 for the same price now. But the fact remains that they haven't revealed. I have too much interest, too much FOMO. I want to see what image I get. I want a 1 of 1. I mean, look at that frog. I would take that frog there. I mean, yours. Or the Wonder Bread. The Wonder Bread looks sweet.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that.
So I am holding. And again, this was a 0.08 mint, Brian. It's not like I'm losing money right now sitting on this, right? I mean, did I miss out on potentially more? Maybe. But also, when these reveal, I mean, my guess is that maybe the floor drops to like 0.7 or 0.65. I don't think we fall further than that in the first couple days. So I'm going to have a chance to make a decision after my reveals. Hey, now do I sell or do I hold, right? But I've loved this project from the start. I'll probably hold it. The biggest thing is I'm not a huge fan of only being able to mint one, right? I mean, it creates, look at that unique ownership, right? 7,400 holders on a 10K collection.
That's very, very impressive.
That's pretty impressive. But I'm always a big fan of taking partial profits. So if I could have minted 2, Brian, then I probably would have sold 1 and kept 1, although that would have been hard too, because the one I sold would probably be the rare one and the one I kept would probably be the floor one. But anyways, it looks like people in the chat are saying I should have sold, Brian. So we got mixed opinions here. But
they don't have one. They're just jelly. You guys
they're
are just
jealous.
jelly.
They want it. So I'll update everyone in a couple days maybe and see what mine looks like when it reveals, depending on when it reveals and if we have a show that day. Brian, let's get into the other big reveal that happened, if we want to call it a reveal. I'm not a huge fan of bashing projects publicly, right? But we need to address what happened with Pixelmon.
Okay, so I purposely did not look into this, and I like to come at it with a fresh set of eyes, because I know that Moonbus already did a little bit on this, but I wanted to come at a fresh set of eyes and have you explain to me what's going on, and then I can give my opinion on how awful it was, or if it was bussin' or disgusting, as I've seen on TikTok.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. We don't have a ton of time to get into all of it, but basically, Brian, Pixelmon promised that they were going to launch the a first-gen playable game, right? They were going to do a land reservation. They were going to do a token. They were going to do in-game rewards, a level 2 pixel pass, all kinds of rewards to anyone who minted out a Pixelmon, because they needed to raise money to build this game. So they decided to do this huge Dutch auction, high price mint, right? You just heard me say Wonderpals was 0.08 to mint. Pixelmon was 3 ETH to mint, Brian. 3 ETH. That is insane. That is a ridiculously high price. And look at that. The floor price is now 0.4. You had to know that if you minted at 3 ETH, there was huge risk, right? You had so far that you could fall. And yes, you could go up, right?
That hurts.
But that hurts
5,
so bad.
5,000 people that hold it right now.
But what hurts worse, Brian, is looking at this artwork. This project had been sharing images online of like top-notch game graphics, right? And instead, this is what we got. I mean, look at this. Like, look at the original that they shared. Go back. I mean, look at that, right? Looks really cool. Looks like a video game. Looks kind of like Pokemon. You had, I mean, yeah, like look at that. Yeah, look at this. Like, that is a cool pixel image, right? Like, I would own that. I probably wouldn't pay 3 ETH for it.
No, I don't have $10,000 for your bullshit.
But then look at what we got for reveal. So we're gonna share. So here's the floor, but let's share some of our favorite images here. Brian, I want you to take a look at these. Look at this guy. So this guy has gone viral now. He is referred to as Kevin, and there are projects making
and I bet they're making a ton of money.
Look at this. Look at that fake Funko of Kevin. You have all these different memes now of Kevin going around. Kevin in the metaverse, Kevin in other projects. You got NFT artists saying, hey, I'm going to have Kevin in my collection. I'm going to make a one-of-one Kevin piece. Insane. Yeah, there's an MF for Kevin.
Salad fingers from the old YouTube days, or might have been underground with the rusty spoons. You remember that? That's what that guy looks like. Salad fingers.
Yep. Definitely. And all right, let's share. We're running out of time here. Let's share a couple more images from Pixelmon. Brian, check that out. Is that 3 ETH right there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's yep.
Okay, but now are you ready? These might be the worst. Hey, where'd my NFT go, Brian? Can you find it?
It's camouflaged in. I'll pay. I have 18 ETH on Linky Network.
How about this dragon? Is he supposed to be right side up?
It just fell.
Like, I hate to criticize, but this is embarrassing, right?
What jokesters?
And the hard part here is, Brian, that in order for people to mint this for 3 ETH, I mean, yeah, the comparisons to Pokemon, I mean, yeah, absolutely. Brian, the hard part here is that I hope no beginners got hurt by this. I really hope no one got hurt by this.
Gosh,
but you know that beginners did. But 3 Ethereum. And you also saw people sell out of other NFTs in order to buy into this.
I'm not laughing at the people who did that. I'm laughing at the
artwork
backlash this team is going to have, and how they need to just do something, or else just quit social media altogether and move on to something else. And they probably need to maybe look into building this out of real Legos, and then it would look better. you know?
I mean, really, you could take screenshots from Minecraft at this point, and
It's like a styrofoam cup.
yeah. And Brian, you said if you were the artist or the collection, you would disappear, right? Well, I got news for you. The artist has not disappeared. He has taken to Twitter, and these are some of the comments he said. He goes by @Cyberer, SYBERER. He said the Pixelmon reveal was unacceptable. This is what our Pixelmon look like in game. Our NFT art failed to reflect this. Despite the FUD, I will not go anywhere. The goal hasn't changed. The funds will still be used to build our game.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. I mean, what else you got to fucking do? Nothing.
Well,
You
well,
ruined it already.
Brian, here's the worst part, right? Is when these were revealed and everyone was laughing at this, there was still people scooping them up at like 0.5, 0.6 as it was falling. And now again, the floor's still 0.4, Brian. What was Starcatchers? Like 0.38? So there's people paying more right now for this than there is for that's why people like are in love with it's becoming a meme, Brian. This is going to be a meme NFT. We saw meme stocks, right? You have a meme NFT. You have Kevin and you have his friends here. I mean, the Kevin ones are already selling for a ridiculous amount because he's memeable. So, I mean, the floor is 0.4, Brian. What do you think? Does this floor go up or down?
Oh, God, I hope not. I hope it doesn't do anything. I hope it just stops.
I hope it goes away, but I really don't think it will.
Kevin. I do like Kevin, though. I mean, he's trying.
888 ETH. Someone has that listed for Brian. So it can be yours if the price is right.
Now I'm back on this wanting to buy a Soul domain and just get out of the Pixelmon space, but I want a Pixelmon now too, though.
Yeah.
Do I help Ukraine? Do I buy a Soul domain or do I buy Kevin? I mean, who is more important here, myself or the rest of the world?
I think the correct answer is Ukraine, but I really feel like
it's hard to scroll up a little bit.
It's hard to look away from these.
Right there.
The Ronaldo statue, yeah.
You're right, though. So I mean, it's this. Okay, so in all fairness to this project, I think what we said will probably be what happens. They are going to run off of this, and they're going to use it to be better. People are going to want these old the bullcrap ones because they'll probably be memeable. They are memeable, and they'll increase in value later. And maybe they'll hey, here's a free advice for them. Use these as legendary, and this is the end goal: is to get one of these guys, get Kevin as like whenever you defeat your version of what's the Elite 8, whoever in Pokemon, Elite 4, Final 4, who I forgot. I haven't played that since I was a child.
The Elite 4, yep.
Yeah, and that's what you get. You win. There. I'm your consultant. That was free. I will bill you from Benzinga.
Yeah, and Brian, but before we go here, let's just talk. This is the perfect time to talk risk reward, right? And let's use a real life example here with myself, right? So same thing as Pixelmon, Wonderpals, they've already shown off images, right, of what their NFTs are going to look like. These have not revealed yet. So I run the potential risk when they release the images that maybe they're not as good as thought. Maybe they don't have as many rare traits. Maybe people don't like them as much, right? That's the risk. I also am risking that the floor price falls, right? So with Pixelmon, same thing. You had the risk, right? Maybe the images don't do as well because it's pixel art, right? Maybe they don't adapt well to OpenSea or to a game, right? But what's the biggest difference? I paid 0.08 for my mint, not 3 ETH. So if Wonderpals comes out, and it is even remotely as close to this, right? It falls to 0.01 or 0, right? And I lose. But, and again, I'm not saying that's going to happen. The Wonderpals team is going to deliver. I hate using that as an example, but that's my risk reward example here. That's why I'm a fan of mints that are under 0.1. Anytime you get like over 0.25, 0.5, Brian, the risk is just, it's too high for me.
Just thinking about spending 10, scroll up, Alyssa, just a little bit up where we were. And you wake up And you realize, keep on going right there. You realize that you spent 10 almost $20,000 on that by itself. I don't know what to do for you. I mean, you've lost your family, you've lost your car, I hope you do something. I feel so bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're gonna end the show on that note. So again, if anyone, hey, and reach out to us, right? If you bought a Pixelmon, we'd love to hear from you. So let us know. Yeah, we'll bring you on. We'll even let you talk shit if you want to talk about the project. Let us know. So, but hey, shout out to all our viewers and our listeners that are watching live on YouTube, replay on YouTube, or listening to the podcast. And also a big shout out to today's sponsor, FTX. You can find out more about that app in the description below. And remember, FTX is partnering on those World of Women billboard covers. So exciting things coming from them. And as a reminder, Brian, tomorrow, let's talk Solana. We got the man himself, Solana legend, joining us on the show. So we'll dive into maybe some more Solana NFTs that he's watching. I really want to ask him what some upcoming mints are, right? And find out more about Shaquille O'Neal. So I'm super excited about tomorrow's episode. So you guys out there don't want to miss it.
For it. So
yeah, there you go. We got to get ready. I got to get some Solana ready too.
And then maybe we'll bring these guys on eventually. I was repping their merch, the Glue Factory.
Glue Factory.
Yep. I'm not my boxer. These are shorts, by the way. They look like boxers, but they're
gotta clarify. You never know who's watching.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks again, everyone.
So everyone knows.
Thanks, everyone. We will catch you tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Stay tuned. You got pre-market prep at the close coming up with Joel and Spencer talking about all the latest news and movers for stocks and cryptos. Take care, everyone out